When you look at me, what do you think I'm like? That I don't know how to drive? That I can't properly speak English? Or that I eat dog? People seem to have always depended on labels based on the person's characteristics and background, convinced that they actually embody the image the whole world seems to describe them as. Today, I'll be discussing why we shouldn't depend on stereotypes. But before I start, although some of you may think that some stereotypes can light on positive attributes of groups, let's not forget about the majority of stereotypes that are usually used to degrade groups as well. So my points are, what are stereotypes? Why stereotypes are very harmful, and ways to overcome the cliché. So, the definition of the word stereotype is a widely held, yet fixed and oversimplified idea or image of a particular person or thing. We develop our stereotypes in a variety of ways. From an early age, it's one of our ways of making a complex world much more simpler, and it's become human nature to categorize each other. But I believe that depending on stereotypes is either for the closed-minded or uneducated. So, from stereotypes come in different categories, such as racial, gender profiling, cultural, religious, the list goes on. So here are examples that I've got from yourdictionary.com. For gender profiling, men are considered to be messy, unclean, and spend too much time on the computer or playing video games, or that women aren't as intelligent or efficient at the workplace compared to men. For ethnic and cultural, white Americans are considered to be lazy, obese, dim-witted, that Arabs and Muslims are most likely to be terrorists, that Latin Americans are from Mexico, or Asians are academic overachievers, yet they can't fluently speak English. Obviously, these facts aren't all completely true, but these are what most people picture when they think of us. Making these kinds of assumptions can be very harmful, which is what I'll be talking about in my next point. No one wants to be judged or labeled based on how they appear or how they behave. People usually say that there's no harm in using stereotypes or making a joke about it. People these days are so tense and take things too seriously, and so just loosen up and deal with it. Statistically, yes, there are factors and actions that are contributed from particular groups, but stereotypes are still harmful in our community, considering people seem to avoid the concept of individuality and uniqueness. According to the University of Notre Dame's Self-Help and Counseling Department, stereotype statements are usually used to degrade and ridicule groups, and that can cause a negative and critical development in the person's mindset, fostering feelings such as hatred and aggression that might lead to false sense of entitlement, convincing yourself that the world's image of you is what you should become. Dang it. Don't you get annoyed by the fact you don't get to identify how you are, but from someone that doesn't even know you personally? Not just the person that is ridiculed is affected, but also the development of the world as well. For example, everyone has the potential of becoming great and successful in their own right, but the concept of stereotypes and judging on one's features and background is getting in the way of that. Like, when applying for a job, chances are that people can be biased and would rather work with someone that is same as them and not work with someone that is different from their standards, leaving the odd man out. That person has been denied their chances of becoming great and successful. That very person that has been denied could have possibly made a scientific breakthrough, possibly invented something that benefited our lives, possibly discovered a cure for a disease. We could have had all these great possibilities and great things if stereotypes weren't in the way. So here are some ways to overcome the habit of assumption. The first step to overcome the habit of assumption is to first acknowledge that we are all human and that we all have our own individual thoughts and feelings. Consider how you would feel to be told and ridiculed for something you are not, and yet it still gets to you and causes you to look down on yourself and have low self-confidence. Get to learn more about the person to learn from their perspective and what they're coming from throughout their life. According to sciencemag.org, be more involved in things you never experienced before, like exploring different cultures. Maybe watch plays, movies, and concerts that celebrate and acknowledge diversity to widen our worldview. maybe learn a new foreign language, or maybe celebrate a multicultural holiday. Even Either way, you are still wanting to give in the effort of wanting to gain more info about them where they're coming from. And that is good enough. Even the smallest efforts can be the biggest change. So let's do a recap. First, we talked about what are stereotypes, why the hell get fixed and oversimplified ideas of a person. Why stereotypes are very harmful. It can cause a negative and critical development in the person's mindset, and also stagnate the development of the world as well. Then we talked about overcoming the cliché, experiencing and being more involved in things you never experienced before. So when you look at me, I hope you see Sara, an individual and someone that you're yet to meet.